Welcome back to the Den, everyone. You're listening to the Tiger Den podcast, the place where we talk about sawdust, sparks, and the soul of the maker movement. I'm Tiger.
And I'm Alex. Today we're stepping back from the how-to of the shop and looking at the why. Not why we need a new bookshelf, but why our brains seem to crave the act of building one.
It's a deep one today, Alex. We're talking about the connection between our hands and our heads. I've always said that when the shop is quiet and I'm just sanding or turning a bowl, I feel different, better. And it turns out there's actual hard science backing that up.
Right. I was reading some research from Psychology Today and Snapdragon Life that you sent over, and it's fascinating. There was this doctor, Susan Bialy Haas, who found herself obsessively wanting to scrub her bathtub while she was struggling to write a book proposal. She thought she was procrastinating, but she realized her brain was actually begging for a break from knowledge work.
I learned this the hard way years ago. I'd spend 10 hours a day staring at a computer screen, feeling absolutely drained, and then I'd go into the garage and work on a dovetail joint for 2 hours. My wife thought I was crazy. "You're tired, why are you working more?" But I wasn't working, I was recharging.
That's interesting. So what you're saying is that manual labor isn't actually labor for the brain.
Exactly. When you do something with your hands that doesn't demand huge, cognitive heavy lifting, like sanding, weeding, or even cleaning, it gives the prefrontal cortex a rest. In our world of smartphones and constant notifications, our brains are basically on fire all day. Picking up a physical tool is like a fire extinguisher for that mental burnout.
There's a specific term for that in the research, right? Behavioraceuticals?
Yes, Kelly Lambert at the University of Richmond coined that. It's the idea that activities can modify your brain chemistry just like a pill would. When you're working with your hands, you're releasing dopamine because you're anticipating the finished product, and serotonin because of the rhythmic, meditative quality of the work.
Wait, can you explain that more? The rhythmic part? Why does the rhythm matter?
Think about the last time you saw someone knitting or kneading bread. It's a repetitive motion. The research shows that when both hands work together, especially when they cross the midline of your body, like your right hand moving to the left side, it lights up both hemispheres of the brain. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system. That's the rest and digest system that counters our fight or flight stress.
So, when I'm struggling to get a weld bead straight and I finally get into that groove where I forget what time it is, that's actually my brain healing itself.
You nailed it. That's flow. When you're in the flow state, that inner critic, the one that tells you you're not good enough or reminds you of that emails you didn't reply to, finally takes a nap. Your neurochemistry shifts.
It's incredible to think about the long-term effects, too. I saw a study from the Mayo Clinic in your notes. They looked at people in their 80s.
This is the part that really blew me away. People who engaged in crafting, woodworking, sewing, ceramics, from midlife into their 80s were 45% less likely to develop mild cognitive impairment.
45%? That's massive. That's better than almost any brain game app you can download.
Here's a pro tip for our younger listeners. Don't wait until you're retired to pick up a craft. The study showed that even people who started in their 70s saw a 28% reduction in decline. But the real armor for your brain comes from making it a lifelong habit. We are biologically wired to use our hands. Our ancestors didn't have knowledge work. Everything they touched, from their clothes to their tools, was something they or someone they knew had made. We're reclaiming a piece of our DNA when we go into the shop.
I love that. It feels way more grounded than the biohacking trends we see today. You know, the ice baths and the 20-step supplement routines.
Exactly. Those things always feel like a chore or a punishment for a future reward. Making things is about finding joy right now. It's about being joyful in a difficult world, as one of the articles put it.
So, for someone listening who feels like their brain is fried from their office job, but they don't have a full wood shop, what's the actionable advice here?
Start small and keep it tactile. It doesn't have to be a dining room table. 1. Find the rhythm. Choose a task with repetitive motion, sanding a scrap piece of wood, knitting, or even just kneading pizza dough. 2. Cross the midline. Engage both hands. This is why things like weaving or woodworking are so powerful. They require bilateral coordination. 3. Ignore the result at first. Don't worry about being a master. The biological benefit comes from the process, not the perfection of the piece.
That's a great takeaway. It's not about the birdhouse, it's about the person building the birdhouse.
Well said, Alex. To wrap things up, your hands are basically a direct back door into your brain's happiness center. If you're feeling stress, stop thinking and start doing.
If you enjoyed this episode, we want to hear from you. What's the one project that helps you switch off your brain? Head over to our Instagram, our Tiger Den podcast, and let us know.
And if you haven't picked up a tool this week, consider this your prescription. Get out there, get your hands dirty, and we'll see you next time in the Tiger Den.
Keep making, everyone.